It's clothing.
If it's marked down,
take another 25% off our clearance price.
For example, if the original price was $12 and it's now marked down for clearance to $6, our cashier will charge you only $4.50.
Imagine whether the merchandise had been marked down 25%, 40%, or even 50%. We'll take another 25% off our last marked down price.
And you'll save 50 to 75% during the most extraordinary final summer clearance sale
at Bargain Town, USA.
Labor Day is Savings Day at JCPenney. Start with men's long-sleeve plaid plain pocket shirts, originally $15, now $6.99. Save 25% on Penney's brilliant collection of diamonds and stone rings. 15-inch decorative throw pillows are special priced at $1.99. Bedspreads of polyester and cotton in twin and full sizes are $12.99. AM/FM car stereo with cassette deck is $49.99. Special prices at your Labor Day savings place. JCPenney, open 8 a.m. till 9 p.m. Labor Day. WSFA TV 12 Montgomery.
More than 245,000 Alabamians were out of work last month, and that's according to Franklin James, director of the State Department of Industrial Relations.
There were nearly 16,000 more Alabamians in the unemployment lines in June than in May. The jobless rate moved from 13.4% in May to 13.9%.
July figures show Alabama's jobless rate at 14.5%, 3.5% higher than July last year.
This is a WSFA TV News special report. Jobs for jobs. The search continues.
Good afternoon, I'm Bob Howell, and this is a special presentation of TV 12 News where we talk about a successful program in Montgomery called Jobs for Jobs. In the next half hour, or hour I should say, we'll be explaining exactly how this program came about and what it's meaning to people in the Tri-County area who are out of jobs, and also what it's meaning to the employers who are hiring people. Assistant News Director Dave Rickey has an explanation of the Jobs for Jobs program.
The Jobs for Jobs program was the brainchild of former Montgomery advertiser and Alabama Journal publisher James Martin. He was reading the newspaper one day when he saw this picture, a slow-moving line of several hundred people standing in the cold waiting to apply for a limited number of jobs at a new food store on the Southern Bypass. He took his idea to the board of directors of the Montgomery Area Chamber of Commerce. That idea was to establish a program where businesses would be encouraged to increase employment across the board by 5% each. The response to the program has been excellent. More than 100 companies have added jobs to employ about 1,300 people. The Jobs for Jobs honor roll has been established to publicize those companies which are participating. You'll see portions of this honor roll before each commercial during our program. But what does this mean for the Montgomery area? According to these statistics supplied by Jobs for Jobs, 2 retail establishments will be saved for each 100 new employees. In addition, 100 new jobs would mean $872,000 more in personal income per year, $395,000 more in retail sales, and $481,000 more in bank deposits. Take those figures and multiply them by 10, and you'll see the impact the Jobs for Jobs program has already had on the Montgomery area. And all of this at a time when statewide unemployment has reached 14.5%. How does a business get involved in the Jobs for Jobs program? Simply call Director Jim Seymour at the Montgomery Advertiser, and he'll handle it from there.
And speaking of Jim Seymour, he's with us this afternoon in the studio. And Jim, the Jobs for Jobs program has been very successful. Let's talk about the figures a moment ago that we saw and the fact that it is having such an economic impact on the entire community rather than just on the employer and the employee. Where did this come from?
Well, those figures that were on the film just a minute ago were derived in Washington by the National Conference of Mayors and the National Chamber of Commerce, and they were derived from statistics from various department agencies in Washington.
Now, what does this mean when they say 2 businesses can be saved and hundreds of thousands of dollars can be pumped back into the community from just hiring one person? How does this work out?
Well, it doesn't. That particular segment represented 100 people, not just one,
right.
And they look at that as disposable income. That is the money that is earned by a previously unemployed person going into the job force, working, and then spending that money back in the community. It's a generated disposable income. They think that those people derive those figures saying, if you have a small business, generally when you think of bankruptcy in times like this, you think of small businesses, that is, businesses of 15 people or less. And they think that, and there are a large number of businesses going bankrupt right now, and that disposable income, if it's significant enough, and 100 people would be, may salvage and shorten up that, keep that from happening.
Mm-hmm. Now, let's talk about how successful specifically the program has been in its, what, 5.5 months that it's been around?
Almost 6 months. The program has been successful in 2 ways. It had 2 objectives in the beginning. The first objective was to approach employers and try and convince them to hire additional staff. The object of that was, of course, to generate, excuse me, additional income in the community. Secondly, it's been successful in that we have tried to generate a positive mental attitude in the Montgomery Tri-County area to encourage and keep the unemployed people actively seeking work. Unemployed people will look for work for a certain period of time, and then they will become what we call discouraged unemployed and will stop looking for work. And we're hoping through a positive mental attitude, through the various techniques that our office has used during Jobs for Jobs, that we've encouraged people to keep looking.
Fine. We'll be back in a moment, right after this.
Labor Day is Savings Day at JCPenney. Start by saving $6 on the Fox shirt for men, usually $18, now just $11.99. Women's denim jeans or belted slacks, only $11.99. All toys and bicycles are 15% off Labor Day only. Save $5 to $10 on severe weather and one and only paints. Penny's best interior and exterior paints, regularly $15.99 to $17.99, now $10.99. JCPenney, your Labor Day savings place, open 8 a.m. till 9 p.m. Labor Day.
While other elected officials were clamoring for headlines, Senator Cordy Taylor was hard at work the past 4 years.
The most important task, as I see it, is to create new jobs in our district. We have gotten new industry and helped stimulate plant expansions. Altogether, it amounts to more than $2 billion in facilities and thousands of new jobs, now and in the future.
Cordy Taylor believes in good old-fashioned honesty, integrity, and hard work, reasons we need to keep him in the state Senate.
For your special taste in gift-giving, visit Mulberry Place. Unique gifts, like wooden, non-toxic toys from Sweden, are sure to brighten the day for any boy or girl. Placemats and napkins with beautiful designs from around the world will make a lovely table setting. These baskets, all sizes and designs, have a variety of uses in your home. For every little princess, a royal doll, stuffed or vinyl. Fine gifts from Mulberry Place, 1923 Mulberry Street.
Hello, I'm Bob Howell. On the night of September 7th, this computer will be part of a statewide network that's going to bring TV 12 News the fastest, most reliable returns from the Alabama primary voting. In addition, we're going to utilize our own in-house computer system and a staff of more than 150 election night workers for complete vote totals from Montgomery County. And this is a sketch of the set where the computers and the people come together for Decision 82, September 7th, beginning at 6 o'clock on TV 12, the only source you'll need. Jim, right before we went to commercial, we saw the Jobs for Jobs honor roll. What is that?
The honor roll is a listing of participating companies that is in the business section or in the paper somewhere every Sunday, which indicates the companies that have participated. And the objective originally for the honor roll was to give recognition to the company, first of all, for taking part in it. And in the back of my mind, I hoped it would create some competitiveness and create some jobs.
Has it done that?
It sure did.
How's it working?
It's working very well. The fellow from New York that came down from a national network that filmed Jobs for Jobs called it the Gold Star, not much unlike the 5th grade Gold Star for being a good little boy.
Sure.
And my response to him was, I don't care what it's called as long as it works, and it has. We've had people call up and their actual words was, what do I have to do to get on the honor roll? And the answer is hire somebody.
How about that? Now, a little later on in this particular segment of our Jobs for Jobs program, we're going to be accepting telephone calls here in the studio from businessmen and people who are representing business interests who have questions about the Jobs for Jobs program, how it works, how you can become involved in it, and what kind of response you can expect. So our number here is 281-2900. That's WSFA TV in Montgomery. 281-2900 is the number to call. We'll be accepting calls starting in the next couple of minutes so that we can talk to you on set here, and Jim can answer your questions about how the program works and how you can get involved. Right now we have an example of a business in the Tri-County area that has benefited from the Jobs for Jobs program.
Southern Publications is a subsidiary of the Advertiser Company. 27 full-time and 6 part-time employees print and distribute a variety of advertising circulars, newsletters, and small newspapers such as the Maxwell Dispatch. Of those 33 employees, 2 have been hired through the Jobs for Jobs program. General Manager Jim Andrews says it's ironic that at the time he was approached about new hires, the company was facing the possibility of employee layoffs. But he says he was convinced to take a chance and hired 2 people, a salesman and a typesetter.
The salesman has worked out well in that he has brought in some new work, and meaning that our typesetter has been needed. So it's worked out real well. Our revenue has increased, and of course we think that the 2 people we hired are real happy.
One of those workers is typesetter Mickey Godwin, who's married with 2 children. He's been a typesetter since he received his art degree from Troy State University in 1972. Even though Mickey already had a job when he was hired by Southern Publications, he feels the Jobs for Jobs program opened new career opportunities for him.
Well, I've stepped up in position, and the company's real good to work with, and they work with their employees. And before, I was not making as much money, and the benefits were not as well as what they have here. And certainly all of those things added together mean a great deal. So I'm not over a lot of people. I'm not a supervisor, but the position I have is one where I do have to take responsibilities. You know, when my supervisor is out on vacation or whatever, then I have to fill in and take up his slack. Mr. Andrews was real good in working with me and helping me to fill this position. And he kind of went the extra mile in the work that he did for me.
Andrews feels the program has been so beneficial to the company that he's considering adding even more people.
We're hoping so. Of course, we're naturally shooting for that end, but the way it looks right now, business does seem to be increasing, and if so, then of course we will hopefully have to add additional people.
All right, we're back in the studio live now, and we're going to be taking your phone calls. Again, the number in Montgomery is 281-2900. The phone calls will be to discuss how you can become involved in the Jobs for Jobs program, and Jim can give us more information on how successful the program has been. And understand that the success is not limited strictly to the Montgomery area. You've even been out of town and been talking with people across the country.
We have. We had some recognition from various people that were traveling through here, and they'd go back to their hometowns. Winter Haven, Florida, as a matter of fact, began their program today. Indianapolis, Indiana is interested. There's a place in North Carolina and Tennessee that are talking to me. Not to mention the fact that Mobile, Birmingham, and Eufaula are also interested in our program.
Again, the number to call here is 281-2900. That is the WSFA TV number. And we do have someone on the phone that's is about to be rung down. Hi, you're on the air live. This is Jobs for Jobs. Go ahead, please.
Yes, I would like to know what qualifications do you have to have in order to qualify for one of those jobs?
You're asking for an individual's qualifications or for a business's qualifications?
Individual.
For an individual.
What places do you go? Where do I go to fill out an application and stuff like that?
So actually, this is not for individuals, but for businesses. Is that not correct, Jim?
Well, that's right. I think the lady's question is, she's asking for herself. I'm going to assume that you're unemployed. Is that correct?
That's right.
And she's interested in getting employment. The qualifications, we don't have a specific job that we're trying to fill here at the moment. Your qualifications are whatever they are. You know what they are. Yeah. The best thing I could suggest for you to do would be to go to the Alabama State Employment Service office and make sure you're registered there at the office near you, and stay registered. Keep your application current. At the same time, be sure that you leave applications in businesses where you have an opportunity to visit. Now, if a company takes applications and you're in the store with shopping or something, take the time to leave an application and show sincerity when you look for a job. And one more thing, too, it's most important, I think, that you pursue a job that you have actual qualifications to do.
I see. Okay, thank you very much.
Fine, thank you very much. And again, we're going to be accepting calls from, we're aiming specifically at businesses this afternoon, people who are in a position to provide jobs for people who may be unemployed across the Tri-County area. And Jim, also, we're going to have a segment to talk about interviewing, just what she said a moment ago. You're on the air live.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. I'd like to make a comment. I'm the president of the GPPA-AW, Local 144 here at Brockway Glass. And we have approximately 600 to 800 people laid off. And what I would like to say to the people of Montgomery is if they would look around at the local products that the people are, you know, the different manufacturing are running here, and try to keep their local products in hand. And think about these people that's laid off in the community. And maybe, you know, this way, us buying our local products here throughout Montgomery, we could, you know, keep our jobs.
I think this is part of a theme that we're seeing more of Buy American, right?
Right.
What do you think about this, Jim?
Well, I think Buy American is excellent in the forefront, but I think keeping as much economic stimulation in, excuse me, in our local community is equally important. Any company or any person that's out shopping, if they know that a product is locally manufactured in the Tri-County area first, or possibly in the state, I think that there's a great deal of economic development that can happen in the state without any other industry coming in if we make it a concerted effort to make sure that we buy Alabama. I agree with him 100%. Well, 100%. We really...
Yes, sir. What I'd like to say, too, we at Brockway Glass have got a payroll out there of around, I'd say, $2,500,000 a month. And we've got these 600 people, which is about half of our majority. So you could see what it's taken out of your local, you know, community. So, you know, I'd just like to pass this along. You know, our people out here are buying in glass, and this is keeping our local economy strong.
Well, we certainly appreciate.
We got, you know, $1,500,000 out of the economy in local Montgomery. You can see where we're hurting.
Certainly, and I really appreciate your taking time to call us on this, and we appreciate the contributions of all Alabama workers.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Jim, we'll be back in a moment. We'll take a look at more of the businesses that are benefiting from Jobs for Jobs when we continue.
Labor Day is Savings Day at JCPenney. Start with men's long-sleeve plaid plain pocket shirts, originally $15, now $6.99. Save 25% on Penny's brilliant collection of diamonds and stone rings. 15-inch decorative throw pillows are special priced at $1.99. Bedspreads of polyester and cotton in twin and full sizes are $12.99. AM/FM car stereo with cassette deck is $49.99. Special prices at your Labor Day savings place. JCPenney, open 8 a.m. till 9 p.m. Labor Day.
Folks, they've stopped me from using this card in my campaign. The trial lawyers and the special interest groups are desperate. The polls show you're going to elect Sonny Callahan lieutenant governor, and they know they can't control me. That handful of trial lawyers who've been running things in Montgomery for so long are living on borrowed time. With your help, we'll be the first non-attorney in Alabama history to preside over the Senate. And we're going to start passing laws that you can read and understand.
For over 90 years, Forbes Piano Company has provided the area with quality instruments and excellent service at affordable prices. Forbes offers quality name brand pianos such as Baldwin, Everett, and Kawai. And Forbes has a full-time service department to give fast, efficient, low-cost maintenance. And on Labor Day, Forbes is having a store-wide Labor Day sale. Everything in the store will be drastically reduced for Labor Day only. So for quality instruments and excellent service at affordable prices, go to Forbes Piano Company on the Eastern Bypass.
To be a pepper, original like a pepper, all you gotta do is taste. Be a pepper. To know the pleasure of a flavor you will treasure, all you gotta do is taste. Be a pepper. The flavor's got a feeling, original and appealing, and all you gotta do is taste. To be a pepper, open up a Dr. Pepper, and all you gotta do is taste. Be a pepper. Yeah!
This is Jobs for Jobs, a special presentation of TV 12 News where we're explaining the successes and the operation of the Jobs for Jobs program in Montgomery. Another example of the businesses in the city of Montgomery that are benefiting is Capitol Filmworks.
Capitol Filmworks in Oak Park has grown from a one-man operation about 8 years ago to a thriving photographic company with 10 full-time employees and about a dozen part-time workers who help shoot and develop film of high school football games. Manager and owner Renee Brinsfield says he had hoped to add a couple of employees when he became a member of the Montgomery Area Chamber of Commerce last May.
Our business has been fortunate enough to expand and hire other people and provide employment for people in the community, which is right in line with the Jobs for Jobs programs.
Being a member of the Chamber, how would you view its effectiveness so far, the program?
Well, if it provides employment for people in the city, it's going to help everybody. And I think it's being fairly successful. This is a hard economic time, and about the best that people can hope for now is to retain a job. And if it accomplishes any of those type of goals by hiring some people in the community, employers hiring people, then it's definitely, to me, seems a worthwhile program.
One of those employees hired is Yvonne Moore. She has a rather typical story of the difficulties encountered when she tried to get her first job.
My degree was in advertising with a minor in photography. And I went to Houston, Texas because the town's supposed to be booming and to look for an advertising job. And they told me I needed 10 years experience. So I knew there was no way, so I came back home. And I looked in Tuscaloosa and there wasn't any openings. So I came to Montgomery and they said that I needed 5 years experience. I don't have any experience, I'm just trying to gain some now.
Is that a big problem now with new graduates in specialized fields, that everybody wants experience, so you got to start on the ground floor?
Especially in the School of Communication, broadcasting and advertising, PR, any of that. They don't tell you that when you're in school, but once you're out, they say you need 5 to 10 years experience.
You would be considered a small businessman in the area. Have you felt that the two jobs that you have filled recently, have they put a burden on you, a financial burden at all, or have they benefited you?
Well, I think they definitely benefited. We've hired, the 2 additional people that we've hired have helped us decrease our turnaround time and service our customers better. And that to us is very important. So we think it's definitely worthwhile, and we certainly don't view it as a financial burden at all. We think that it's in goodwill and in customer service that it's well worthwhile.
Joanne Kovach has been married to a military man for 4 years. During that time, she moved 11 times, the last time when her husband was transferred to Montgomery. Before she made the move herself, Joanne's husband looked around for a job for her with little success. And she says this is a problem facing most military dependents.
First of all, they don't know who you are, what your background is. They tend to, hire local residents than somebody that might be from out of state. It's just very difficult, especially if you don't have, a good-looking resume to back you up and references. As often as military dependents do move, it's hard for anybody as a dependent to get a steady career in any particular field without experience.
Brinsfield says after seeing the success his 2 new hires have provided, he hopes to add more people in the future.
Before January, at least, we'd like to add several other people and split off and have 2 shifts. And we think that having these additional employees helping us increase our service to our customers is going to give us increased business. So we think it's an investment to hire people in this situation.
Jim, to say the least, jobs are not easy to find these days, and the art of interviewing is just that, an art. It's something that you need to prepare for rather than just going in cold.
That's very important. A lot of times you'll see someone come in and interview for a job and they won't be dressed properly. They won't have the qualifications that the employer is looking for. They'll have a lackadaisical attitude. They won't act as if they particularly care one way or other whether they get the job. They don't show an interest in the company, or they'll want to squabble about the wages. And all these are wrong. All these things that people do to get a job that are negative will result in no job at all every time. Person has to, I think the primary consideration when interviewing for a job is knowing what the job is and having the qualifications for the job. A lot of times people desperate for work will apply for jobs that they think they can do. A lot of times people will want more money than the employer is offering, but they won't take into consideration things like the fringe benefits that come with the job, which in the long term is a financial gain. Even though it may not be in disposable income, it is. We print job tips in the newspaper every day, and people should take a look at those. They're brief, very brief, but they have a strong meaning.
Let's take it point by point, and I don't mean to elaborate or to spend too much time on the individual points, but you said appearance. What should a person wear on a job interview?
Normally, a person should go to an interview on a job wearing the clothes that he will normally wear doing the job, with an exception of overalls or dirty clothes. But if you're going to go and interview for your job, let's say, you should certainly come in a business suit and a coat and tie. Right. If you're going to interview for a welder's job, a good, nice pair of slacks and sports shirt, but is perfectly all right. A person should be well groomed. They shouldn't have their hair in all kind of fancy patterns, pigtails. They should be combed. You should be nicely shaven, clean nails. You should you should appear to the employer in a good, have a good appearance.
Right. We have a phone call. Annette can go ahead and put it through. Hi, you're on the air live with Jobs for Jobs. Can we have your question, please?
Well, I don't think the present setup, this comes on the head of what y'all are trying to do. But there are a lot of senior citizens that need part-time work. There are a lot of small businesses that need people like that. But just in my case, where I tried to explain to the lady, I am disabled to work. My wife is trying to run a small business, what little help I can give her. But you cannot go out on the street or call the unemployment office and let them send you somebody. If you do, you'll have to wind up with nothing. Now, if they could get people in each town to screen and organize where people like myself and many others could contact good, honest people that you could get to come in and work part-time. Where I used to stay open 7 days a week and stay in 6, and I wish I could take off 2 more at least. Say 2 to 3 days a week, but somebody that you could turn your back on. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Certainly. So you're saying that there is a niche, there should be a niche for senior citizens, people with experience in the job market.
That's right, and there should be some organization in each town to screen and know these people. You understand what I mean?
Sure. Jim, you said you'd like to address this.
I would. First of all, I totally agree with the need to find employment for senior citizens. There are a lot of senior citizens that would like to work 4 to 6 hours a day or even less. They would be glad to get that kind of work. There is a big need for that, part-time. There is an agency in town that screens employees for people, for employers. It's called the Alabama State Employment Service. Now, one of the problems we find with referrals, if a person complains about the referral from the Employment Service, is that the qualifications given to the Employment Service over the telephone for the job order wasn't specific. So I think employers who have a disagreement with the referrals or the type of people that are being referred from the Employment Service should take a look at their job application and the things that they give the employment service that they have to work on. All they have to work on is what the employment says. Be more specific about your job requirements, and I think that the applicant coming to you from the employment service would be more what you need, sir.
I certainly appreciate your taking time to call, sir.
One more thing.
You made a very good point, sir. I wish we had more time, but the director is giving us a break sign here, so thank you for your call, sir. We'll be back with more in just a moment.
Labor Day is Savings Day at JCPenney. Start by saving $6 on the Fox shirt for men, usually $18, now just $11.99. Women's denim jeans or belted slacks, only $11.99. All toys and bicycles are 15% off Labor Day only. Save $5 to $10 on severe weather and one and only paints. Penny's best interior and exterior paints, regularly $15.99 to $17.99, now $10.99. JCPenney, your Labor Day savings place. Open 8 a.m. till 9 p.m. Labor Day.
Jack Ingram Mazda's Great Camper Caper. Aha, a brand new Sunline camper to be given away September 25th. And all I have to do is test drive a new Mazda. There's one, a new Mazda Sundowner truck. There's a Mazda RX-7 and a GLC. And look, a 626. It's a good thing Mazda sales manager Denny Mitchell isn't around.
Test drive a new Mazda this week. You could win a Sunline camper.
Since 1932, Bear Lumber Company has been serving Montgomery and surrounding areas with quality building products and professional service. Specializing in redwood, womanized pressure-treated lumber, and southern yellow pine, all lumber stock is stored inside to ensure the utmost protection. The result being a superior product for their customers. For the do-it-yourselfers, a full line of brand-name hardware and a complete line of paints, mini wax, stains, brushes, and adhesives. Everything to build or remodel your home. Bear Lumber Company, downtown.
For 36 years, Leon Lord has created fine heirloom portraits for the dignitaries of Alabama, Florida, Georgia, the Carolinas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Tennessee. He served board chairmen, presidents, directors, executives, and now he wants to serve you. Bring heritage to your office. Begin a new company custom. Carry on the institutional tradition. The art of portraiture and fine artist oils meant to last many lifetimes from Leon Lord, master portraitist. He has the galleries of discriminating portraits to prove it.
This is Jobs for Jobs, a special program presented by TV 12 News. We're explaining how the program is working in the city of Montgomery and for the Tri-County area. One of the people who's worked closely with the Jobs for Jobs program is Clifford DePriest, who is the head of the Alabama State Employment Service in Montgomery.
Well, we had an opportunity for our local supervisor in the Montgomery area to be a part of the initial planning for the Montgomery Jobs for Jobs campaign, and we have had a very close working relationship with Mr. Seymour, and he has, on his calls to employers throughout the three-county area, told employers about the services available through the employment service, the large numbers of applicants that were registered for employment with those offices, and suggested that they take advantage of that service.
One of your other services is to list hard-to-fill jobs. Tell me a little bit about that.
The approach that we've taken on that hard-to-fill column is any job that is listed with one of our offices that we do not have a suitable qualified applicant for. It could be just a variance in the supply and demand for that week. Jobs are very perishable, and so are available applicants. A person looking for a job this morning won't necessarily be looking this afternoon, and the same thing is true of a job opening. So any time that we cannot immediately fill a job from our available applicant supply, then that's a candidate for the hard-to-fill jobs column to attract applicants who may have those qualifications.
Has there been any talk from other portions of the state so far on trying to get similar services in those communities?
Yes, we have initiated a sort of a campaign to promote that same kind of service, the hard-to-fill jobs listing in local media, in every city in the state where we have an employment office. And this has been over the last few weeks, and so far we do have such listings in Gadsden, Dothan, Alexander City, and a few other places in addition to Montgomery.
If you had to sum up your opinion or your evaluation of the Jobs for Jobs program and its successes here in Montgomery, how would you do so?
Anytime that you get that many independent business people working toward a common goal, I think that's very commendable, and it can only be good for the community and the businesses collectively. And I think that the people who made the hiring decisions selected a very qualified and very competent person to do most of the promotional work and related activities in Mr. Seymour. He's been very easy for us to deal with, and I feel sure that the business people whom he has visited have enjoyed that experience. And, as you know, the honor roll is listed occasionally, and this has grown, I guess, weekly. And the numbers that have been accumulated through this process have, I think, been impressive. And I'm sure that each of those individuals who have gotten a job through these efforts would very much support the idea.
Clifford DePriest, the director of the Alabama State Employment Service, and let's talk briefly before we take our next phone calls about these hard-to-fill jobs, high-tech jobs especially.
Well, hard-to-fill jobs, we have those in the city, and what the definition there is, excuse me, are anytime, hard to fill means that the State Employment Service has a job application, some company is looking for an employee, and they don't have an active applicant in the file to fill that particular job need. It is high-tech a lot of times. It may not be high-tech.
High-skilled, I'm sure.
High-skilled. You could have an apprentice needed for a specific type welder, or you could have someone needed for a certain skill in carpentry or any of the skill trades.
Okay, well, again, you are looking out for people like that also. In other words, you're keeping a close eye on these hard-to-fill jobs from the point of view of employers who may be having problems finding these people.
We do. The advertiser in the morning runs a hard-to-fill column when space is available, which makes these jobs available. And earlier, I mentioned that some people who go without work a long time become discouraged, unemployed, and so their applications are no longer valid, active in the Employment Service office. These people see these jobs in the paper, and then they go in and register and get them. It's been very successful. As a matter of fact, we have taken the time through my office to set up a statewide network of hard-to-fill, which has involved somewhere around 47 newspapers and all the Alabama State Employment Service offices, and we're having excellent results statewide. Even though I know that doesn't put any money in Montgomery, we're still helping people that are out of work in our state.
And that, after all, is what we're after, helping both sides, the employer and the employee. We've got some phone calls waiting, so let's take one right now. Good afternoon. You're on the air live with Jobs for Jobs.
Hi. I would like to make a statement, rather. My husband and I have had the experience with the job applicants that we have been in contact with, that they're coming through private agencies. Job for Job sounds like an excellent idea, and I'd like to take the opportunity to ask the people to go to the employment agency and go through that channel. Employers, as well as myself, are spending up to $1,000 per each employee that they hire through these private agencies, and it's ridiculous. That's money that could be used to hire another employee and put them on the payroll. And I find also that the more qualified are going through the private agency, so therefore you have to go that way. When you've got so many applicants and the ones coming through the employment agency are not qualified, you've got to go with the more qualified. and it would just save a lot of money if people would use the employment office.
Jim? Yes. The answer to that is yes, I agree. The lady's absolutely right that people can go to the State Employment Service Office, and employers can get highly qualified people through the State Employment Service offices. However, they can also do the same thing through the private agencies as well.
Right, and everybody's in the same boat here, the agency people as well, I'm sure. And we appreciate your taking time to make your comment. Thank you very much. I understand we've got a couple more calls waiting to come through. Our number is 281-2900. Good afternoon. You're on the air live with Jobs for Jobs.
Hello. The interview that you had earlier prompted me to call because the woman was military dependent. And I was just going to say that there seems to be a big pool of talent out there at the military base in terms of the wives of the people stationed out there that probably doesn't get used very much. You know, just like she was saying, every place that she's been, she gets turned down because the people are afraid that, you know, the husband will move away pretty soon, and so they don't get jobs. And perhaps you could get together with those people. And I understand that they have a sort of a job pool for the wives out there, too. Maybe you could get together.
How about that, Jim? I don't know about the job pool from their wives, sir. I'm a retired Air Force fellow myself, so I'm totally familiar with the situation of Air Force dependents and jobs. However, it's not unfair to take into consideration, I think, the position of the employer. An employer's best employee would be someone who he would hire and who could stay with him for a long duration of time. That doesn't mean that the short jobs are not good, but an employer would like to know, I think, and you'll agree, that if they had an employee they spent time and money to train, they'd like to keep them around for a long time. I can understand the complexity and the problem of a military dependent in jobs, but we can't also forget the overlying motives of a corporation, and that is to be profitable, and turning employees over is not very profitable.
Thank you very much for your call, sir. We've got time for one more phone call in this segment. Good afternoon. You're on the air live with Jobs for Jobs.
Hello, Jim and Bob.
Yes.
Enjoying your program. Want to let you know that some of the people in Montgomery County might not be aware that there's a course taught at Robert E. Lee at night that teaches people how to fill out resumes, job applications, their appearance for a job, and so forth. In other words, they don't have to have a certain skill. And this course is absolutely free, and it's sponsored by Montgomery County Vocational Education. In other words, adult education. And there is no charge for this course, and it starts next week. That's a good thing about your program. It doesn't start until next week. And I think that the resume and application is one of the most important points of getting a job. And it is taught absolutely free, and if the people will call the Montgomery County Board of Education and ask for Mr. Thomas Tucker, he's the adult vocational director for the night classes, it would benefit them very much because of the fact they may have a skill and they may have an area to work in, but without knowing how to go about it, they could completely fail on a job.
That's absolutely true, sir. I'd like to mention that I've attended two of those courses. I knew when they started. I went in jeans and T-shirt and went through the course just like any unemployed person about 4 weeks ago. The man that presents the course, his name is Randall Hall, who also works for...
That's correct.
Yes, and I have to tell you that I've studied labor economics, and I've seen this sort of thing done many places before, but no one is as professional at it as Randall Hall. And I'll tell you, anyone that can go to Randall Hall and get that type of training is going to be way ahead when it comes to the job search. And I appreciate you bringing that point out.
I don't know if you was aware of it. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for your time, sir, and your comments. We're going to have to take a break. We'll be back, and we'll talk about seasonal jobs in a moment.
Harlequin presents outstanding stories of love and romance, so involving you don't just read them, you live them.
I couldn't ask you to give up your life here to marry me, Paul.
From now on, my darling, I put our lives before anything else. From the first moment we looked at each other, 1,000 nights began for us. 1,000 dreams seemed possible. I never wanted a woman who would melt at my touch, but one who would take fire.
You've just experienced a romantic moment from the world of Harlequin Presents. A world that you are invited to enter with 4 free romance novels Harlequin will send you when you call our special number. These 4 books are a free gift from Harlequin to introduce you to Harlequin Presents and the Harlequin Home Subscription Plan. Because we believe that once you've read just one Harlequin romance, you'll want to read many, many more. If you decide to join our family of Harlequin Home subscribers, you'll receive 6 new Harlequin novels each month, delivered right to your door for only $1.75 apiece. These are brand new titles that are mailed to home subscribers as soon as they come off the presses. And Harlequin pays all the shipping and handling charges. You pay nothing extra for the convenience of home delivery. Why wait? Call our special number today for your 4 free introductory romances. There's no obligation. Join the thousands of readers who've made Harlequin the most popular romance fiction. Because no one touches the heart of a woman quite like Harlequin.
To get your 4 free Harlequin romances, call this toll-free number, 1-800-228-2606. Do it now and take advantage of this free introduction to the Harlequin Home Subscription Plan. There's no obligation. Call 1-800-228-2606.
One of the businesses participating in the Montgomery Jobs for Jobs program has a special way of training seasonal employees.
Parisian at Eastdale Mall is one of 10 stores the company owns in Alabama. It's the first branch to become involved in a program like Jobs for Jobs. The store normally employs about 210 selling and non-selling employees. However, as is the case for most retail stores, additional help is needed for the Christmas shopping season. But those employees usually aren't hired until October or November. Assistant Store Manager Alan Levy says that philosophy changed after he got a call from Jim Seymour.
He informed us about the Jobs for Jobs program. Of course, asked us if we could get involved with it in hiring people to help the economy, people that we already did not have vacancies for. And at the time, we told him we were quite interested in it and see what we can do because we are a big supporter of the Montgomery community. He called me back a few weeks later, and I told him at the time we had not found the candidate that we thought was right for our store. But what we had done, we had employed some college students in anticipation for the business during Christmas season.
Parisian hired and trained 15 students. Most of them have returned to college, but will return during their Christmas breaks already trained. Lauren Fowler will be a sophomore at Auburn University this fall, majoring in fashion merchandising. So she considers her experience with Parisian invaluable. She says she had applied at several stores before getting her position here, and she says she's grateful for the opportunity. Also a sophomore at Auburn, Debbie Bruner has been assigned to work in the accessories department. Debbie's majoring in accounting and already has some experience working at a bank. But when she began looking for summer employment, she said there wasn't any until she was hired at Parisian. Because of the program, Debbie won't have to search for a job this Christmas. Amy Marva will be working in the Girls Shop, a sophomore business major at Auburn. Amy says she already had friends working at Parisian, so she decided to apply for a summer job. This was her first venture into the job market, and she wasn't sure how successful she'd be. But now Amy says she loves the training she's already received, not to mention the money. Levy is also very enthusiastic about the first summer of the program and says he hopes Parisian can continue it. He says he doesn't see it as a financial burden to the company.
Fortunately, at the time, it works into our budget. We told the students up front that we could not guarantee them 20 hours of work, 15 hours of work, even 10 hours of work. But what we were able to do was to go ahead and employ the students, put them through our training program, give them the necessary training as far as terminal training and policies and procedures so that they could get on the floor now in the summertime for a few hours a week if possible. And then by Christmas, when the hours are there, our business is up, they would be ready to go and help the customer.
Too long, just give me a sign.
Okay, the seasonal job situation is also augmented with a question of part-time employment. People like the college students, for instance.
That's right. During the development of Jobs for Jobs, we ran across the situation in the beginning where an employer would say, like Mr. Levy, yes, we can do some employment, but it's part-time. In the honor roll, we've always shown those as seasonal, part-time, or seasonal, not to misrepresent the program. There are seasonal jobs, as you know, at Christmas, seasonal jobs during the summer. Traditional summer seasonal jobs or moving van companies seem to have a large need in this particular area in the summer for additional help. A manufacturer, anything that deals with the season of the year, a manufacturer, for example, that would build swimming pools probably would have an influx of part-time or seasonal part-time people during the summer. But part-time labor is important in Jobs for Jobs also. It doesn't necessarily have to be a full-time job to help the community. There are a lot of people, working mothers, or mothers that aren't working, who would like to work if there was hours 9 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon, just before school let out or something. Would be ideal for some single-parent women who need a job but who can't work that long.
What about job sharing? This is something you don't hear a lot about here.
Well, I've thought about job sharing, and you're talking about one company using the same, 2 different companies using the same person?
Or perhaps 2 different people doing one job, a woman who wants to work part-time in the morning and one that wants to work in the afternoon, and they share one position.
Well, this is a concept that I'm aware of, and it tickles me that you brought it up, and I hope I can say just that we have not addressed that in Jobs for Jobs. Job sharing is something that it takes some getting used to.
Yeah.
And I'm not absolutely sure that with the short duration of time that Jobs for Jobs has been alive, that it was time to kick in some job sharing in Montgomery.
Jim, thank you. We'll be back in a moment with more on our Jobs for Jobs program. We'll talk about layoffs in a moment.
Labor Day is Savings Day at JCPenney. Start by saving $6 on the Fox shirt for men, usually $18, now just $11.99. Women's denim jeans or belted slacks, only $11.99. All toys and bicycles are 15% off Labor Day only. Save $5 to $10 on severe weather and one and only paints. Penny's best interior and exterior paints, regularly $15.99 to $17.99, now $10.99. JCPenney, your Labor Day savings place. Open 8 a.m. till 9 p.m. Labor Day.
Quality and durability, features you expect in luggage and attaché cases. Montgomery Shoe Factory and Luggage Shop has Central Alabama's largest selection of top quality business cases in all styles, colors, coverings, and price points. Flexible frame enclosure, comfortable handles, patent touch-o-matic locks, and Teflon stain repellent make Hartman cases top of the line in the luggage industry. And remember, monogramming is free. For quality and durability, think Hartman. Think Montgomery Shoe Factory and Luggage Shop, downtown and in Normandale.
Labor Day at Eastdale Mall. A savings day for you and your family. With 90 stores, you'll save on everything. From books, records, jewelry, and shoes, to fall clothes for men and women, boys and girls. Spend the day at Eastdale Mall. There are 16 great eating places offering Labor Day specials, so you can take a break with a light snack or top off your shopping day with a relaxing welcome meal. There's always something new for you at Eastdale Mall. Open from 10 a.m. until 9 p.m. Labor Day.
I want to thank you, world, for letting me belong.
Enjoy an evening with the Statler Brothers in their first television special. Share their music, their humor, their memories, and their special guests. Chet Atkins, Janie Fricke, Brenda Lee, Barbara Mandrell, Roy Rogers, and Conway Twitty. A 2-hour musical treasure filled with delightful comedy.
It's an evening with the Statler Brothers, Sunday night at 11 on TV 12.
Let's continue now and see another business that's benefiting from Jobs for Jobs.
There are about about 70 workers on the payroll at the Jenkins Brick Company Cruzada Mill, but that wasn't the case last December. Due to a seasonal slump in the building supply market, Jenkins had to lay off half its work staff in what's called an inventory adjustment shutdown. That means to cut production and sell off excess inventory. When the market picked up in March, Jenkins was able to rehire its workers. At about that same time, company owner Mike Jenkins got involved in the planning stages of the Jobs for Jobs program. Jenkins felt just rehiring laid-off workers was not the same as creating new jobs. But other members of the Jobs for Jobs steering committee said the Jenkins employees should be counted as positive economic news. 31-year-old Otis Walters certainly viewed getting his job back as positive news. He was unable to find another job during the 3-month layoff, and with a wife and 3 kids to support, Walter lived for the day when he would be brought back to work.
What was it like when they finally called you back?
I was glad, because I was getting behind my bills and everything, and you know, I was glad when they called me back.
If they hadn't called you back, what do you think you'd be doing right now?
It really is hard to say. I guess I just still draw my pennies, I reckon.
James Pasley has been working for Jenkins for about 13 years. He stayed at home with his wife and 2 kids during most of the layoff, and although he says he understands the company's decision to shut down half the mill, he was glad to get back to work.
So, I had been looking for jobs and all, and there just wasn't no job. I'm glad to be back and all, you know. It was sort of, you know, rough when I was off, but I'm glad, like I said, I'm glad to be back at work, and I hope it don't be, you know, now another layoff and all.
Johnny Johnson spent most of his 3-month layoff looking for another job. He helped a relative drive a truck but didn't get paid. He says it just helped pass the time. But that didn't pay the bills for his 2 children and pregnant wife.
I really didn't want to be laid off to start with, and I know there's a lot of other folks that don't too. You know, the man can't help it, he can't help it. So I just bided my time and waited until I got back.
Feel a lot better now to have a job back?
Oh yeah, a whole lot better. I'd rather be here than I had to be sitting at home any day. And that's the way I felt for ever since I went to work here about 3 years ago.
Mike Jenkins says the economy is holding steady right now. He says he hopes to avoid future layoffs. In fact, he's added a new product line and has had to hire 8 new workers. Meanwhile, he hopes his positive economic news will rub off on other companies which have had to lay workers off in the past.
Got time for one very brief phone call that we can take before we go, and we will limit it to one more. Hi, you're on the air. We have time for one quick question.
Bob.
Yes.
All right. I'm an employee or employee and employer. Okay.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I need a mechanic that can do the work. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well.
What you need to do first thing tomorrow is get in touch.
No, I done been to employment.
Well, no. We need to get you in touch with Jim Seymour, where he can find out what specifically you can do to get the people that you need. Right, Jim?
Yeah. Okay. Whatever Jim says.
Okay. What is your phone number, Jim, so we can tell him right now, so he can get in touch?
Number is 262-1611.
262 what?
1611.
1611.
Right, and I can promise you, will take care of you and help you get the man that you need.
Or a woman.
Bob, well, okay.
Because we're running real close on time. Really, I appreciate your call, and if you have anything else you need to talk.
Ozark, Alabama, okay?
Okay, and Jim will be glad to talk to you tomorrow and give you any information that you need.
Tomorrow.
Okay, well, Tuesday, because tomorrow is a holiday.
Yeah.
Okay? And take care of Ozark. All right, thank you, sir, very much. Jim, we've only got a couple of seconds left here. How would you summarize this Jobs for Jobs program, and what would you have to say to employers and employees out there?
I'd summarize Jobs for Jobs by saying, as far as my viewpoint is, it's been the most challenging and rewarding job I've ever had. I've loved doing it. The thing that makes it so rewarding to me is seeing the positive results that come out of a person getting work that has been out of work and needs work. I would encourage any employer, I do not encourage an employer to do make-work jobs. I wouldn't ask anyone to do that. It's economically stupid. But if anyone out there can use a part-time employee, a full-time, or any other segment of time employee, please give me a call at 262-1611 at my office Tuesday, and let us talk together. We can get it, jobs for people in Montgomery. There's plenty of people that need jobs, and you'll feel good if you do it. It's a great, rewarding thing to do.
Okay, fine. Jim Seymour with Jobs for Jobs. This program has been designed to let you out there, and especially to you businessmen and women, the people who are doing this hiring, know exactly what can be done to help stimulate the economy of the Montgomery area. It's a program that's growing across the state of Alabama. It's picking up national attention, and we here at TV 12 are delighted to be a part of that program. And right now, special thanks to Dave Rickey. Dave is our assistant news director, and this has been his baby, this program. He's put in a lot of hours work with Jim and with the people that are working with the Jobs for Jobs program, and our special thanks tonight to the good job that Dave Rickey did, and we would not be here without his efforts tonight. So if you can help the Jobs for Jobs program, talk to Jim Seymour. The number is 262-1611 in Montgomery. Call him Tuesday. Until then, have a nice Labor Day weekend. The news is next.
Monday only at the Lazy Boy Showcase Shop, 100 chairs usually priced to $485 on sale for one low price, $277. Monday only, 12 to 9, the Lazy Boy Showcase Shop.
The perfect party or wedding just doesn't happen. It has a special ingredient, good planning. Hi, Wayne Colliff for Arrow Rents, your party professionals. Arrow Rents rents it all. Chairs, tables, linens, china, candelabra, champagne fountains, and floral arrangements. We'll even order your wedding invitations. Our party consultant, Shirley Kelly, will assist you in coordinating your party rentals.
Let me take the hassle out of your party preparations so you can relax and enjoy.
Arrow Rents, your party professionals for the life of your party.
Holiday bargains have arrived by the truckload at Mac London Furniture. How about nationally advertised bedding as low as $39? That's the deal Monday during Alabama's largest bedding sale. Twin mattress and foundation just $39 each piece. Full size just $49 each piece. King and queen only $59 each piece. We've got a solid truckload to sell Monday at these all-time low prices. You'll save $300 on a handsome 5-piece king-size bedroom, only $7.99 Monday. Hundreds of other items are on sale too. Monday only, 9 to 4 only at Mac London Furniture.
WSFA TV 12, Montgomery.
From Alabama's News Center, this is the WSFA TV News Sunday Report.
Good evening, I'm Don Phillips. Authorities are still searching an area near Montgomery for 3 inmates who escaped last night from the Kilby Correctional Center. Prison spokesman Ron Tate says a trio climbed a security fence